All right, guys, let's take a look at Bitcoin today. Like I said, we're going to be in that range, 51, 52.5, 51.5, and that's kind of what we're doing. We did dump down below 51,000. I think it was yesterday. We dipped down to like 50,800. I know that's when all the YouTubers were freaking out. Oh my God, we're dumping. We're going to zero. Big dump coming. And it's possible we could go under $50,000 Bitcoin. I mean, all that stuff's possible. But for me, everything looked like it was in a range. Not to mention that the stock market is at all-time highs today. So that's probably helping keep Bitcoin up. Overall, your altcoins coming back up a little bit. Solana 104, XOP almost back up to 56. Cardano almost back up to 60. I mean, same old stuff. It's almost like, what the hell, kind of boring. I saw that VeChain's still at 4.5 cents, which is extremely positive, and I saw that Theta was still at like $1.23, up 9%. So actually, Theta dumped kind of hard when Bitcoin dumped, and then it came right back. In my mind, that tells me that there's a lot of interest right now in Theta, however you say it. I was watching CNBC yesterday, and Tom Lee was making his Bitcoin predictions. You know, Tom Lee's this guy who, when I first got into crypto in 2017, he was calling for like a $20,000 Bitcoin. Nobody believed him. Everybody thought he was crazy. And we got that $20,000 Bitcoin. Then, in the depths of the bear market in 2020, 2021, he was calling for a $60,000 Bitcoin or a $70,000 Bitcoin. And this is when Bitcoin was down to like $3,000. I mean, it was bad. And everybody's making fun of him again. And then, of course, a year later, we get that $60,000 Bitcoin. And so now here he is back, and he's calling for $150,000 Bitcoin. So that's here a little bit of Tom Lee. And honestly, he's probably one of the few people who's actually been spot on with Bitcoin. I mean, if you look at his price predictions, I mean, maybe off like by 6 months, but he's pretty much been spot on. So let's take a listen here.
I said, and I was just throwing out a number. We're at 50. I said, what you said it might be strong for the remainder of the year.
Yes.
I said 75. What did you say to me?
I think it's, it could be as high as 150,000 this year.
So double what I thought was.
Yeah.
150,000, so we're tripling at this point.
Yeah, because you've got demand improving with the ETF, and you have the supply shrinking with the halving. And if monetary policy eases, which we expect, that's supportive of risk assets. And Bitcoin's holding up. I mean, that's another reason why I don't think a drawdown's going to start that soon. I mean, Bitcoin's been rallying the last couple weeks.
Wow. So take that to the bank.
Those are big numbers. I don't know anymore.
And are you in, hold on, let me just go back. Are you in the camp of this is like a $500,000 valued?
Over the next...
Over 5 years, are you...
Yeah, it is sound money, and I think it's proving to be useful. And
Proving to be useful how?
Well,
it's very useful if you're an investor right now.
Yes, it's been a great store value. It's been a good risk asset. It's also incredibly secure. There hasn't been a single fraudulent entry on the blockchain since inception. I don't think any bank can say that's true of their P&L and accounting. 6% of banking transactions are suspicious, 0% on the Bitcoin.
What did Gensler say the other day? That he trusts the Oracle database more than the blockchain
the thing that
distributed ledger. Does that? But that was bizarre, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, the blockchain is just one big piece of software, but I would trust the proof of work concept that you now, instead of having 5 people manage an Oracle database, you have a consensus mechanism, and that's what's
exactly.
So, but Tom, here's the flip side of that, and you've heard it from the Jamie Dimons of the world, maybe even Elizabeth Warrens and others who say, despite what you said about sort of how good the blockchain is to be able to find where things are, it is the medium of choice for ransomware. I mean, just you go through the list of sort of terrible illegal behavior. People in that world seem to love Bitcoin. What does that say about this?
Well, pirates were the first people that liked gold, so we knew gold was a good store of value. But I think equally important, the dollar is used in more illicit activities.
99.
I know, we talked about it.
Anyway, it's like a There's like 3 more minutes left in that interview. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you get the gist of it. He's calling for $150,000 Bitcoin. The guy's pretty much been spot on. Do I think we're getting $150,000 Bitcoin? I really don't think we're getting it this cycle, but maybe we will. I'm shooting for more like 120, 115. But I don't know. When Tom Lee says 150, like your ears need to like perk up because the guy, I mean, he's a traditional investor. He made most of his money in stocks and I believe real estate. He's like a hedge fund guy. But if you go back to like 2016, 2017, because that's when I got into crypto, this guy's been spot on, and to the point where people were just making fun of him. And that's why they keep bringing him back, because he's always right. He also called the stock market going to all-time highs as well. So I don't know. I guess you got to trust these Asian guys. They really know their stuff. I saw this article. Crypto pioneer Arthur Hayes slams Cardano as dog shit, blah, blah, blah. Hoskinson responds. You know, the one thing I noticed about all these cryptocurrency, or excuse me, these Cardano haters, they're all like the biggest sleazeballs in the world. You have to remember, Arthur Hayes is a convicted felon. Let me see if I can find the article. Anyway, a former BitMEX CEO Arthur Hayes sentenced to 2 years probation. He also spent time in jail as well. Hayes pleaded guilty to 1 count of violating the Bank Secrecy Act, blah, 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 in February, and faced a sentence of up to 12 months. He's a convicted felon. I mean, he's a fraudster. He's not allowed to run a crypto exchange ever again. He's like on like numero uno hit list of the U.S. government. But if you ever look at who doesn't like Cardano. It's guys like Arthur Hayes, guys like Rand Nooner, Crypto Banter, the guy who was caught dumping coins on you last bull market. He was caught taking money to pump shitty projects and dump them on. He was caught doing this. It's all documented. And the list goes on. Solana guy, like all the biggest sleazeballs in the world are the guys who don't like Cardano. I just found that to be really interesting. It's like, if you're a criminal, like basically if you say to me, okay, if a guy comes up, he's in the cryptocurrency, and I say, does this guy have a criminal record? Is he a felon? And you say, yeah, this guy's a felon. I'm going to say, I bet he doesn't like Cardano. And like 99% of the time, the convicted felons don't like Cardano. I just think that's really interesting that, like, if you're a criminal or a known sleazeball, you don't like Cardano. It makes me want to be in Cardano even more. Here's another one. Cardano price reaches highest weekly close since 2002. Will Cardano hit $1 next? Cardano price has created consistent bullish weekly candles. It closed above resistance. The weekly and daily time frame readings support the counting of the Cardano price increase to new highs. Despite the bullish Cardano price prediction, closing above 58 can trigger a sharp, below 58 can trigger a sharp downward movement. So yeah, like I've been saying, I mean, the great thing is there's so many Cardano articles out right now, but it does look like Cardano is basically just on that slow course back up to $1, like we've been saying. Even with this recent dump in Bitcoin, I think Cardano was at 63 cents, went down to 58. Now we're almost right back up to 60. I mean, it's just so obvious what's going on. And if you look at coins like Solana, I've already said Solana probably has already had most of its pump. You know, Solana at 104, like I think it's going to be extremely difficult for Solana to get back up to $125. And I've always said with Solana, maybe it'll get back to $250, but the ROI just isn't there. You've already made your money on Solana. It already did a 10x. Cardano, you still have another 10x to go. All right, let's see what else we got. Of course, Bitcoin price rejected at 53,000 as future open interest hits a 2-year high. So it does look like that $53,000 Bitcoin is probably going to be like that short-term resistance. We're probably going to get a lot of rejections off 53. But the thing is, the more times we test 53, the better chance we have of breaking it. So the question is, will we break 53 the next time we hit it, or are we going to get rejected again? Will it take a few more attempts? For me, I think it'll probably take a few more attempts, but we've already, I think, hit it twice. So maybe 2 or 3 more times hitting 53,000, then we'll blow past it. You know, these resistance levels, just go back like a month ago. You know, it was like $45,000 resistance. Then we're at $47,000 resistance. We were there for a little bit. Remember, we're at $49,000 resistance. Remember, $50,000 was a resistance. And now we're 53. So we're just slowly making our way up, which in my mind is extremely bullish. I was looking at Ben Armstrong's Twitter, crypto Twitter. You know, everybody's all about these fights right now. These like every influencer, like these crypto influencers. It's like Crypto Crow, George from Cryptos R Us, BitBoy. Like, there's so many of them. I'm just thinking to myself, like, in my mind, like, I'm not a big fan of UFC. I do have a black belt in Kinokawa Aikido, and like I like self-defense and all that. I've been through a police academy and all that. I just feel like all this does is take crypto down. It takes it down into the gutter. Like, you want to kind of keep crypto classy. You want to keep Bitcoin classy. And let's face it, UFC is like it's like a strip club. You know, it's on the same level of a strip club. You go there for like your drunk entertainment. To watch people get bloodied and beaten up. It's like, and you yell drunk in the audience and everybody's kind of crazy. It's not like a classy event. I have no problems with it, but it's not a classy event. And it's almost like, I think with cryptocurrency, we should try to keep it classy. And all these influencers, like, all into like this whole fighting, UFC fighting. We're gonna get all these influencers together and have a big boxing UFC match. I don't think it does anything for crypto. I just basically think it shows traditional investors. Like, if you're a traditional investor worth $1 billion and you're looking at this and you're like, should I get into Bitcoin? Like, this would just be a turnoff to me. Like, I know a lot of like Ivy League people, like in my family and stuff like that, like went to Princeton and stuff like that. Like, if they look at this, they're just like, well, I'm not investing in this. These are a bunch of like trailer trash. This is like a trailer trash event right here. All these people, tattoos all over their body. They look like animals. This is low class stuff right here. And I don't think it does anything to help crypto. Yeah, it's entertaining. I'll go to a UFC fight. I'll go to a strip club. I mean, I'll do all these fun things. I'm not like a big wimp or anything like that. But like, does this do anything to help crypto? It does nothing to help crypto. It just brings it into the gutter, which is why I don't really support doing that. I think they should try to do classy things, not sleazeball things. Let's finish off with this bearish article because we know we have to keep it grounded. Bitcoin pre-halving pullback calls for $45,000 Bitcoin price support retest. That's absolutely in the cards, guys. I mean, everything's been looking good, and we have the halving in 2 months. The question is, are we going to get one big giant pullback either before the halving or after the halving? Statistically, we usually get a run up right before the halving and then we dump right after the halving. But since we still have another month and a half till the halving, could we get a pullback from 51,000 down to 45, which would absolutely annihilate a lot of these altcoins and Bitcoin? Yes, it's in the cards, and that's why we have to be prepared for it. You know, a 30% dump in Bitcoin, a 20% dump in Bitcoin, it's par for the course, and we're kind of due for it. The only thing that keeps me really bullish right now is like I feel like we're going to run up leading up to that halving, but we could dump down to 45,000 sometime in February. There's still another week and a half left in February. Then we get the run up in March, like maybe the first week of March, we go back up to 51, then we're 55, then we're 60, then we're 65 by the halving. Then we dump right back down to 55 after the halving, and then in the months follow, we make all-time highs. So remember, guys, it's all in the cards. Don't let it, if we get like a big dump down to 45,000, I'm just looking to buy more altcoins. I mean, that's really all I'm looking to do. I might even buy some more MicroStrategy stock or something like that if it gets a big dump, if we go to $45,000 Bitcoin. But just remember, all these things are in the cards. And remember, what if that happens, the sentiment changes, every YouTuber is talking about big dump, you know, going back down to 15,000. Everybody's trying to scare you. But if you just step back and take a grounded look at it and you look at previous charts of Bitcoin, Bitcoin has these 20, 30% dumps every few months. So technically it could happen. I'm more so leaning towards, like I said, we run up slowly, then get a big dump after the halving. But of course we could get a dump right now and then we'll start making our way up in March. I mean, really, it's just a guess. I mean, look, if I was a fortune teller and I knew exactly what was going to happen, I'd be living on some, island in the Caribbean, Anyway, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.